जयति हरिरचिन्त्य सर्वदैवैकवन्द्यः परमगुरुरभीष्टावाप्तिदः सज्जनानां निखिलगुणगणार्णो नित्यनिर्मुक्तदोषः सरसिजनयनोऽसौ श्रीपतिर्मानदो नः. Students, we are having a very good Subhashita today to discuss and to inculcate some kind of principles in life so that we can become great person. Tell me, by touching your heart, have you not decided to become a great person? Don't you wish to be recognized as a great leader for the present and the future generation? If it is so, you should hear this Subhashita, you should observe this Subhashita closely and practice the message given by that. This Subhashita is told by Bhartruhari in Uttara Ramacharita. He has depicted Rama as an ideal person and how he was. He tells on great persons, Vajradapi kathorani, mruduni kusumadapi, lokottaranam chetamsi kohi vignatum arhati. The meaning of this Subhashita is Vajradapi kathorani. Sometimes great persons are more harder than diamond. At some situations, mruduni kusumadapi, their mind is too soft even than the flower. Why they are like this, sometimes too soft, sometimes too hard, means they are not ordinary, they are extraordinary. Lokottaram chetamsi, how can a common man can understand the minds of the extraordinary persons? So one has to observe that closely, salute to them, and one should consider them as a leader and one should walk on that path. Surely he will become a leader. You must have observed the fruit fig. In Kannada we say it has atti hannu. It has a very good fragrance, it spreads fragrance around. It is a sweet fruit. Atti hannu, like that anyhow we say. It is very attractive and inside fruit is also very good. But if you open that by thinking it is more attractive and more sweeter, inside you come across some kind of worms, so that you have to throw it out. Sometimes even in mangoes also look more fragrant and more attractive. Some types of mangoes at some point of time. When you cut it into slices, you see some kind of worms, so that you have to throw it out by thinking it as waste. Some great persons who are more attractive at the outside, having nothing inside, like worms, like insects, they are having some kind of things which trouble them and trouble the society, and so that after having observed them, you will never follow them or you are dejected by their behaviors. At the same time, you may see another fruit, that is jackfruit. Outside it is full of some kind of thorns or some kind of sharpened aspects. But if you cut it inside, you will be having a very good thing to eat inside. So outside it is somewhat harder, but inside it is more softer and tastier. The Bhavabhuti says, Vajradapi kathorani. Great persons are like jackfruit. Outside they may look somewhat rough or somewhat different, but if you study them and if you stand closer to them, surely you will be inspired in many aspects. That great Rama, while all people criticized Sita as she lived in Lanka, she is not pure. Without having tested her, Rama accepted her. It is wrong. While a king does like this, what to speak of the common people like that? Then Rama, in the eyes of the world, renounced his wife. So all people considered then what cruel he is, how much cruel, like that. The same people who objected Rama is not following the morals. Suddenly after he has renounced, they said that Rama is cruel. Like that anyhow they said. At that time Rama presented himself as more cruel to the society or to the outer world. At some time he has to perform Ashwamedha Yaga after having become the king, after having killed the enemies or that one while he was in Ayodhya. He has to perform some kind of Ashwamedha Yaga. At that time, husband has to sit with his wife and do the aga. At that time, all ministers suggested that he has to marry someone else so that along with Patni, if he does the aga, it will give full benefits. Rama smiled at the ministers, smiled at the Purohits and Vasishtha and said, "Do you think that I am alone? Always Sita is inspiring me at all steps, so I will do one thing. To prove that to the people, I will keep the golden idol of Sita with me and I will perform the aga." Then tears rolled down from the eyes of the Purohits and the ministers. At that time, he was too soft. So the message is, the great men are strong from outside and soft from within. They go to any extent of punishing themselves, but they are very much compassionate when it comes to others. So towards Sita, he was most loving, and that is why he kept her idol even while performing the yagna. But while people objected as saying how he should behave like that, then he kept her outside. So how to understand the minds of the extraordinary persons? The only way to understand their mind is you become an extraordinary person so that it can be understood. So, Lokottaranam chetamsi kohi vignatum arhati. Who will understand their minds? They are always extraordinary. Offer a salute to such kind of great persons and then follow their life pattern so that you also will be recognized as a leader in the future generation. So now the answer is clear. Whether should you be hardware or the software? Understand? Hardware with the critics and software with the beloved. This is the message. So balance the hardware and the software so that you will never become irrelevant. We shall see another Subhashita next time. Okay, students.